We have spent 1 month in Bangkok. To our surprise, there were so many things that we feel so disappointed. If you want to know why, keep watching the video. There are many Western food in Bangkok, so of course if you want to order something that is not from Bangkok, not the local food, it's gonna be very expensive. So in order to save money, we try to eat local food. However, it always comes with a little portion. So even though if it's only 50 or 60 baht, but I had to like order twice to make myself full. So normally like a meal would cost me 100. That's pretty expensive. So the food portion is probably 1/3 of the portion compared to Taiwan.
完食分量的话，大概吃个3口就没有了吧，面的分量。然后其他的鱼丸啊什么的都不是很好吃，所以我就没有把它吃完。
The food is not fresh, especially rice. So I'm not sure if they're trying to save power or that's just how they eat it, because there was one time I saw them unplugged whatever the machine to keep the rice warm after the rice is done. But I think that makes sense because the electricity fee in Bangkok is pretty expensive. Number 2, hygiene. Because we walked almost everywhere in Bangkok, we didn't rent a scooter because it was pretty convenient. You get buses, MRT, BTS. So since we walked everywhere, we know how the streets are. You smell urine, you see rats everywhere on the street. Another thing is, you know how hot Thailand is, and also they like to eat seafood. You can see the food stands. They're selling seafood. Some of them don't even have covers, and you can just see flies everywhere on the food, which is not. Number 3, language. So since Bangkok is the capital of Thailand and where all the tourists would go, so we just thought that English is a pretty common language people would speak. So many people do not speak English, and not even the easy and basic ones. So there were some language barriers, especially when we want to order food. Some of them don't have English menu. Even though we were using Google Translate, it was also hard for us because sometimes the Google Translate cannot detect the words, and we didn't really want to order something that we don't know what it is, so we didn't really order that much. Number 4, internet connection. So as a digital nomad like us, we really need to have a really strong and stable internet. Overall, the internet connection is good in Bangkok. However, if it rains a lot, you will lose internet connection and even power. But normally it's only 1 to 2 hours, then the power comes back. And this year in Thailand, the rainy season is normally from June to October, but this year started earlier, so it started to rain in April and May. Number 5, some temples didn't feel authentic. So at least to us, because we always looking for history or cultural related stuff to read, we want to learn something when we go to a temple. And you will see so many constructions going on. They are building more and more fancier temples. And also because most tourists, when they go to Bangkok or Thailand, they always visit temples. So that makes sense that they're trying to build more and more temples to make money. Number 6, transit card. So in Bangkok, the transportations are MRT, BTS, buses, and cabs. So we bought a MRT card, like something like yo-yo card in Taiwan. However, we found out that you buy the one for MRT. You can only use it for MRT. So if you want to take BTS, you have to buy another card. From what we have experienced, when we were trying to buy BTS tickets, you kind of need to have exact amount of money to buy the tickets. it doesn't really, the machine is not smart enough to give you change. Otherwise, you have to go to the receptionist.
There are a few things you might want to keep in mind when traveling to Thailand. Whenever you buy things, it's better to have smaller bills because a lot of them do not have change. It happened to us so many times, even with the food deliveries. So what happens when I don't have smaller bills is that usually the drivers have to absorb the small amount of the rest fee by themselves. If it's over 50 baht, you will have to figure out the change yourselves. Otherwise, you can pay with the e-payments. Since we're traveling and mainly use cash, but there's something called wise transfer. You can apply for a debit card. However, not all countries are eligible to apply. You can check if you can apply or not on the website. Ever since COVID, Thailand has changed a lot. So many places look dead. All the prices went up a lot. Some attractions are closed. Rainy seasons started 2 months earlier this year. For us, it's not worth visiting Thailand at the moment unless you're here for the nightlife. Bars and clubs are still open. I hope this video gives you helpful information. As I said, those are based on our experience. If you have a different one, please do share with us. Leave me a comment down below and tell me if you still think that it's worth the visit.